The style is old school. The animation is buttery smooth. The soundtrack lets you know that it is there. They're like, we need this show to be banging. The next show we're going to be talking about is Megalo Box.
So what year is on this one?
Yep. It is the Rock'em Sock'em Cyborgs anime.
Ah, that one.
This is basically a new iteration of Ashita no Joe. In this version, they are boxing with I don't know. They had like gear attached to them to make them punch harder and all that kind of stuff. Talk about building hype for this show. The style is old school. The animation is buttery smooth. The soundtrack lets you know that it is there. I'm pretty sure they teamed up with some music producers they're like, we need this show to be banging. When the hype for this anime goes up, we want to crank the music. So, it is amazing. Like, for certain sports shows, I get hyped because I like the whole we can do it kind of thing. This show is like a slow build of hype. Basically, the main character is basically the way this society works is kind of like the haves and have-nots. Mm-hmm. There are people who live in this city and the people who live on the outskirts. The main character is one of these guys who lives on the outskirts. He always has bad luck. There's always like just trouble just follows him. And he basically is teamed up with this guy who's always in debt to some kind of mobster. And he uses the main character to lose fights on purpose to get money to pay off his debts. The main guy is talented, very talented. And you can see that like he's getting tired of like getting his butt kicked every day.
Well, he's just throwing in the towel on his own anyways.
Yeah, but he's like, it's one of the things where it's like, every couple days, you get just constantly getting punched in the face, and then you get your little bit of money, and he's like, if I would have won that match, I would have gotten more money. So it's like, why am I...
throwing matches and not winning?
And he's like, he talks to the guy, he's like, I'm tired of like losing matches. Like, let me fight for once. And he's like, oh no, you'll get your chance next time. This time we got this and we got that and we got plans. And inside the city, they create this tournament of like the top cybernetic cyberpunk boxers. Like, there's this huge tournament where you win a large sum of money, and the main guy sees that and he's like, you know what? I'm thinking about trying for this one thing. And the guy's like, you're not even a like full-fledged, like you're not even a citizen. You can't do that. Come on, let's you got your boxing match in a couple minutes. Like let's make some real money. And after that fight, he like rides, he just goes on a ride, and it's raining, it's dark, and all of a sudden there's a woman in the road. He swerves, falls off his bike and everything, and the woman is actually the person who is in charge of the company that's holding the tournament. Her and her like her contender, her like $1 billion boxer kind of guy, he steps out of the car and like the guy recognizes him, and then he's like, she offers to like pay for his bike and pay for like injuries, all that kind of stuff, and he's like, I don't need your money. Then the guy comes out and he looks at him, and they're about to start boxing, but she like calls him away. She's like, no, stop, we gotta go. And then he like turns around, and then the guy's like, oh, she got you trained well. And then he like stops, but then continues going because he can keep his cool. He's a pro. When he gets back home, the other guy, calls him for another fight, and he's like, we got a big fight this time. And he's like, I am tired of losing. He's like, no, whatever. So then he gets in the ring. Somebody with this hood walks in, and it's the cybernetic guy. And he gets excited. The match starts. The guy, like, he kind of tests the guy out, like, boxes with him. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make this easier for you. I'm just going to box with my left hand. Pisses the main guy off. The main guy pushes him far enough to where he has to block with his other hand. Then he starts talking more junk. And the guy's like, all right, I'm going to go at you for real. Knocks the main guy flat. Like, it's one of these things where, like, just like with My Hero Academia, where, like, those punches hit and you're like, whoo! I'm like, he just, boom! Knocked the sweat, almost knocked the hair off his head, bam! On the ground. And then he starts walking out of the ring, and then he's like, he's not going to be able to get up. And the dude's like struggling really, really hard to get up. And before he leaves the building, the guy like is on the ropes and he's like, is that all you got? The guy's surprised. He turns around and he's like, come on, I'm not down. It's like, it didn't reach 10. And he's like, I'm done playing around in this scrapyard. Meet me in the real ring. And I'm like, how is he going to do that? He's not a citizen. They fake a citizen's ID. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you need a new name. And he's like, what kind of name you gonna be? And I'm like, go with Mad Dog. That's what he goes by. And he's like, let's go with Joe. And I'm like, I still know Joe. Ah!
Nice.
So yeah, I love this show. It looks so good. It's so hype. There's 2 shows that are like unbelievable hype this season. So. Yeah, I highly recommend this one. I know nothing about Ashita no Joe except it's boxing, and it's like the soundtrack is awesome. The animation is awesome. The story is hype. I'm like, everything that you could want in a sports anime, it's there. So definitely recommend it.